Sam, I just wanted you to talk a little bit because you said that you won't be with us tomorrow about the People's Convention, just in terms of, because when people think about a convention, they think about delegates, they think about some kind of representation from a neighborhood or whatever. Can you talk about whether or not those mechanisms have been worked out, or is that part of the ongoing process to
Yes.
try to figure this out?
Yes, that's part of the ongoing process. But at the very outset, we're saying that the creation of a People's Convention from its very beginning has to be Black and Latino led, from the very beginning, and that the convention will represent, as I mentioned before, the 250 neighborhoods. It will have that representation there. We cannot have real power without real representation from all of the neighborhoods in the city. So the People's Convention at the outset is straight in your face, a Black and Latino-led initiative, okay? That it's not about some white folks coming in, parachuting in, and telling us what to do. Okay, we are the majority in this city. We are the most oppressed in this city, and we have some of the most, at the same time, we have some of the most experienced organizers in the world, right here in New York City. So let's be clear on that. One other thing that we need to understand, I meant to mention in the very beginning, when Nellie was talking about gentrification in Manhattan, and also Walter Stafford with statistics, one indicator, one powerful indicator of the fundamental transformation of the island of Manhattan is, and the latest one I have, I don't have last year's, but the latest one I have is who was born in Manhattan, okay? Who was born on the island of Manhattan? White babies, newborn, in 2006, outnumbered Black babies and Latino babies by 30%. You understand what that means? That means that basically means that young folk cannot afford to live in Manhattan. Old people don't have babies. Understand that. 30%, 2006. White newborn babies outnumbered Black and Latino babies. So our base of citizenry in Manhattan is rapidly disappearing. Okay, so that's just one indication of the level of gentrification, bum rushing that the Bloomberg administration has done, and starting, of course, with Koch and Giuliani, but really taking off under Bloomberg. So one of the things that we need to do in the development of the People's Convention is to get our young people involved, directly involved in the day-to-day operations of the People's Convention. And I think coming from all of the positive work that came out of organizing around getting Barack Obama to be president, all of the youth, a lot of the youth in the city are more politically engaged than ever before. The youth in my neighborhood in Brooklyn are more politically. Every day we would go out on the block and we hear people talking, young people talking about the election and so forth. And now that enthusiasm is there, that interest is there. Civics for the first time was learned by these young folk. They learned it on the street, you know, that he's going to be the 44th president, that there's this thing called electoral college, there's primaries, and all this whole bit, you know, all of that stuff is there. And I think that what we have to do is to find ways to engage those already now awakened young people in the political process. Not just the electoral political process, but the political process in general. In very positive, progressive ways, not in ways that drives them into community-based organizations where they start worrying about how to get funds, but in ways that help them understand the nature of the capitalist crisis, the nature of institutionalized racism, the nature of imperialism, and the nature of the history of struggle and resistance that black people have waged in order to bring us to where we are today. You know, so that's how I feel that we should, you know, have in the People's Convention, not a separate only youth group. That's going to happen, but to consciously bring young people into the leadership from the very beginning, and have them struggle with us in moving it forward. So that's our challenge. The People's Convention idea is not a new idea, and we had earlier talked about how one of the places it stemmed from was Philadelphia some 30-some odd years ago. We are, however, this time around in New York City, looking at building a People's Convention to counter the moves by those who rule under the multi-billionaire Bloomberg and the Bushites and post-Bushites that run this nation and this city, and that we feel that the city citizenry has been disenfranchised and kicked to the curb, so to speak, with gentrification and privatization occurring in every arena. We met last week for the first time, last Saturday, to spring off of a discussion of the impact of the Obama victory on our work, both local, national, and international. And that dovetailed into the afternoon discussion about the importance of creating this People's Convention here in New York City. And the People's Convention in New York City is about creating an alternative governance system with people who will actually make sure that the governance system will work. That is city council people who support the People's Convention platform and other elected officials who would support that platform. And the idea is to build the platform through planks. And the planks are centered around sites of struggles that we have. We have listed some of these sites of struggle. Obviously, there are others. There's housing, public education, health, jobs, a People's Budget Commission, environmental justice, people's justice and people's police, as opposed to police brutality. There's the youth, there's transportation, there's undoing racism, there's the immigration issue, there's the infrastructure development, there's the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender issues, there's foster care, there's cultures, there's a whole issue around the various cultures and so forth. So we are looking for people to come and join us in this effort to make this a truly citywide movement. And you can join any one of these working committees around the plank, or if you have another issue that you can work on and pull together. And that the idea that in 2009, late spring, early summer, that there will be a People's Convention. That convention will be primarily delegates representing all of New York City's 250 neighborhoods, demographically, racially represented, and that the people who want to run for political office and support the People's Platform would be also present and be supported, or nominated and supported in this convention. So we're looking at a maybe 2-day or 3-day convention in New York City.
And would you give the contact information
Yes.
for that, please?
Telephone number is 917-573-1111. 5812. 917-573-5812.